I was about looking.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today? This is Big Chonas coming at you here. B7 Oaks, what's up, Justin? Thanks for joining me tonight. Tonight, where I am, East Coast, USA. Good evening to all my East Coast friends. Hello to all my West Coast friends, probably driving home from work, and everybody across the globe. This is your friend Big Chonas. You guys find me on Twitter. I am at Big Chonas. These are all my best ideas. I take technical analysis very seriously. I'm a crypto trader, an investor, a mentor, a chart psychologist. Please do your own research. You guys can find me on the Discord group until1mil.com/TA packages. And remember, if you do choose one of these fine packages, definitely click the subscription button at the very bottom here on the referral. Make sure you type in Big Chonas. Much appreciated. You guys can follow my friend Big Cheds. He is with me tonight. He is a CNBC crypto trader. You basically have seen him on CNBC. He's a founding analyst of Bitcoin Live. He also has a great YouTube channel as well. Say hello to the fans, Big Cheds.
Oh, it's an absolute honor to be here, I must say.
Thanks, Cheds. Thanks for being here. He puts out great content on Twitter, and he's also one of my closest friends. All right, so let's bring up some Bitcoin here, and listen, we have been watching. Pull up my actual chart here.
What time frame are you watching right now, Big Jonas?
I am watching every one at once. So I'm going from the minute to the monthly. I watch them all because I'm looking for interesting points here. No, seriously though, this is a very crazy time right now in Bitcoin. This is a very special time in Bitcoin right now. I'm going to maximize my screen here. All right, so listen, I got my chart up here. Okay, so this is my 4-hour chart, and you know what? Let's start with a very close view of our current price action. We just put in our daily candle. Okay, so let's just start right from there. I'm going to my daily chart. We're going to analyze the closing candle. It closed about 10 minutes ago. We're going to see where we closed and how that last candle corresponds to its friends, the previous day's candles here. So Cheds, this is the candle that closed about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It looked kind of similar to the one that happened yesterday, although it's redder with a longer bottom wick here. Mm-hmm. The volume, a little higher than yesterday, but kind of lackluster. I'm on the Bitfinex exchange.
Zoom out a tiny bit, just so I can get a little more context.
Sure.
So we have, the last 2 days, this is a good example of what's called a high wave candle, where you have a long upper and lower shadow and a small real candle body.
It is a type body, yeah.
Right, so it's called a high wave candle, but it doesn't really matter. Look, there's weak volume behind the candle. So any signal, you look at the volume, there's not really. It's just indecision. It's a trend stall, right? It's clearly trend stall. You and I were talking earlier. I think it's potentially a bearish continuation pattern. You drew like a bear flag from me. Maybe we can draw something like that.
Sure. So does the buy up of this lower wick and the buy up of yesterday's wick, and really the past 3 days, right? We've basically had 3 days where we've had a lot of red intraday, and for 3 days in a row, as you mentioned, the tight body. But does this mean anything to you? These buy ups.
We've seen it. We saw it. It was stop hunting, right? We saw it on the hourly charts. You and I kind of mentioned that in just passing conversation the other day, and it's stop hunting into an area of logical support because you're dealing with the resistance areas here from the 13th. So this is a consolidation period here, from the 13th around 12, 13, 14, 15th. So kind of it did that stop hunt right into support, and it pulled back to kind of a current channel. You see what I'm saying? These candles right here, right? That's the support area, okay? So that's where it's finding support. That's a logical.
And now we're actually a little higher than we were back then too. So it actually established a higher low.
But look at the last 4 days. Look at the volume candles. Look at the volume candles alone, right? So who's in charge? You tell me who's in charge. Look at that, right?
Well, it's almost tied because our bodies, as you said, keep closing in the $6,600 range. And if you think about every time that the bears have been trying to take charge, right, to basically dump it, okay? This has been bought up. Now, I like to use on my TA EMA 1226 and 55 right here. You can see we're still sandwiched here, and it's crazy. You know, we talk about areas where we have a bull cross and a bear cross, and I'm watching this bull cross, waiting for it, and it just keeps not happening. Look how sideways this tight price action is in these two EMAs here, and a second day of resistance on the EMA 55. We see yesterday we wicked out, and then, well, actually 2 days ago we wicked out, and then yesterday once again unable to break through our EMA 55 once again on low volume. Now, Chad, you're talking about some sort of a flag continuation here, where we basically have a defined, obviously bearish flagpole here, and we're flagging up. And I kind of asked you the question earlier: when does the length of the flag negate the pattern compared to the length of the flagpole? And we're kind of debating, you know, when does this become its own pattern unto itself, I guess.
I mean, there's certainly a certain amount of flexibility depending on how you want to apply the rules. And you certainly do not want your flag to be as long as the pole. But when we're talking about a consolidation pattern, you have to consider what the pattern is and its context. And this is within a pullback. Okay, so this is a consolidation pattern within a pullback. And we look for something that we can, on common speaking terms, what does it most look like that we can kind of equate to each other and say, this is what I think it is. And then it's because there's the psychology of the market, and that's what we're seeing there. But if we zoom out, let's look at the bigger pattern. Isn't it? Is it a descending triangle, Big Jonas, or do we have a falling wedge? That's the pattern, right?
Okay, well, listen, I'll end with this on this pattern here, that if we do break bullish and we get kind of up to here again, we're still putting in a lower high than where we wicked off the last time around $7,400, but we're still also hitting that resistance on our upper flag resistance, as well, still being repelled by this red line here.
What is that? Is that the 200?
The 200, and you know, for months, you know, we didn't even come close to there.
But it's kind of flattening out though a little bit now, right?
Well, it was for a moment. I remember looking at it here when we were really going bullish here. Like, wow, are we really kind of bust out here?
Yeah.
We didn't really come close here. Same thing here. We're way down here. So I'll say this about the current price action here. We can still go up and test, you know, 6,900, maybe even 7K, maybe even a hair to 7,100. Still putting in a lower high, still hitting up upper wick resistance, which we've been basically on this plane hitting up, and still being under the MA200. Okay, so do all these bullish things and still have a bearish continuation.
We're just talking about a trade. You're just describing a trade where
and that's the zone, and that's where we're at right now. Then any trades you're really entering right now are swing and quick, and obviously have decent stop losses, because we're talking about an area of momentum here where we're getting close to some major move. Now, Cheds, I want to get us higher. What do you want to do? A weekly?
Let's start at the what is it? The every 5-year chart. No, let's go to the
two candles.
Let's point out. Okay, let's go to the weekly chart and let's look at the on balance volume, bullish
we're
divergence.
A day into the week now. We just started the new week, right?
Okay.
Let's clear out all our drawings here and just look at our candles ourselves. I'm just going to pull in our BBs as well because we haven't brought those up yet.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about some kind of divergences on what?
Hey guys, do you like the night mode better? Like I like Big Chona's setup. It's pretty. You know, I do the white background down. He does the black background. Just let us know which one you think you like better. I'm sure you'll say his.
It's the black and white cookie.
Yeah.
Both sides.
I think it's kind of pinching, right?
Well, this is as tight as the Bollingers have been in 2018.
Wow.
You know, we on parabolic.
Wow.
Okay, on a weekly, very high time frame, way outside our upper Bollingers here. You know, this is a move for the ages, right? It can only be eclipsed, right, by a much larger Beagle or massive move in the future, right? Once we find our bottom in consolidation here. So listen, weekly perspective here. Okay, let's get a couple of things in order. Okay. For 4 weeks now, we are repelled by our middle Bollinger. We are repelled by my AMA 12, which is this kind of tan line here. All of our EMAs are above our price action for the past 4 weeks. Ever since we broke bearish, okay, from our end of August bull run, which was great.
But why is that important? Why is it important to look at just these 4 days rather than like
4 days
or 4 weeks? Month. Yeah, these 4 months. Yeah.
Because
hold on. Hold on.
Because here's
I'll be right back.
All right, Chance. All right, so Chase has a phone call, and I'm going to keep over here. So, listen, we have our weekly chart here. My point that I was trying to make about we have 4 weeks in a row where we're basically under all our VMAs here. Okay, listen, I'd love to break bullish. I think it'd be great for the market, for everybody, right? If we break bullish, recapitalize crypto itself, okay, bring more money. Can you imagine the stories on CNBC, okay, when if we were able to break again this out of this downtrend here, but the downtrend's intact, and it's going to continue to be intact as we continue to be repelled by our issues here. And that's what we're watching here, because this is a situation where as we get it tighter in our weekly Bollingers, just as we were very tight in our daily Bollingers, we can definitely take a look at that in just a moment. But we're basically seeing here that this tightening is setting up for a larger, bigger move. MA 100 here is currently at $5,400. Okay, MA 200, okay, it's still rising here. We're getting closer to almost $3,000 on our next kind of longer term lower supports if we happen to break bearish. And of course, our lower BB right now, $5,800.
Well, hold on. So, but let's just. So, what do you think of the Bollingers? Do you think they're close enough to kind of make a move here? Like, is that
no?
You don't
I
think so?
could give this a couple more weeks. I could see at least a week or two more.
Well, I mean,
seriously.
I mean that's
of a ranging of a somewhere of a ranging between.
How about a month more? How about a month?
$400. Well, that would take us.
Right. That'd be even nicer.
That would
Imagine if we had another month like this. That would be bullish, wouldn't it?
For what? Sideways
if
price
we
action?
did, if we replicate, I maintain we're in a falling wedge. Okay, I think it looks like we're in a falling wedge here. And if we could maintain it in an even tighter range for like another month, you know what I mean? I think that'd be bullish.
Because why? With the selling has
because
dried up?
Right, selling's dried up. Support is established. Bollingers are tighter. On balance, the bullish divergence. On balance, volume is stronger.
Here's my OBV. Okay, here's my weekly OBV. Look at that. Now, I remember we talked about this a few days ago, right?
Yeah.
And this resistance line is held.
Yeah. No,
right?
but which resistance line?
From our triangle top.
There's no resistance line because you could have drawn that peak here and it broke. It's really, you have a multi-point support line in the bottom. You have at least 3 points of support line.
That's how I'm able to set this
top nothing. You really
here.
only have a support line in the bottom. Okay, fair enough. It's more of a visual.
Well, no, I grant you. I guess I could have touched here.
Right, or you could have touched here.
Or even this one here.
Or there. Okay. So it's like, the bottom line's more convincing.
That's the point. The bottom line is more convincing. Right. So even if this resistance line is not really a valid line, we can agree that as long as this higher low holds, right, in our bottoming here, then yes, that could actually be something interesting. That could be a continuation.
But let's see it.
Of some kind of bullishness. So what you're saying, Chad, just to clarify, you're saying our weekly OBV is rising?
No, I'm saying there's a bullish divergence, regular bullish divergence. We have a higher low in the oscillator, which is, in this case, the on-balance volume, right?
While versus the price is doing
making
what?
a lower low. Or a flat low. So if you look from the same period of time, from here to March, I believe, from there to roughly now, you have lower lows in price, a higher low in the on-balance volume. And the on-balance volume is based on the close, not the candle wick. Okay, the way that oscillator is calculated, the OBV, it's based on the close. So when you're drawing divergence, you want to use the candle body, right, and not the candle wick if you're going to use it with the on-balance volume.
Well, why does the weekly make the scene? I guess I'm saying is, can we see it on, let's go to the daily chart.
Yeah.
And do we see a similar pattern?
Let's take a look. What's that?
Oh,
this is the go fly kite pattern when,
What is going on? Oh, you know what I got to do? Oh, because it's the Schmendrick.
Yeah.
Now, okay, this is our daily chart here.
I have no idea what we're looking at.
This is the OBV daily chart, and it looks very similar.
The OBV daily chart?
Yeah. And
chart of just the OBV?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. So we have a similar. We're putting in a higher low here. Okay.
But can we overlay the price? I need to compare it to something, right? It says point of divergence. Maybe
hold on, here we go.
Simplify it, maybe if we can.
And let's pull this up here, and I'm going to find my Bollingers for just a moment here.
Beautiful. And OBV, and zoom in, and our daily or weekly. Go to weekly for sure.
So we're looking at our weekly. And we're trying to look for some kind of divergences.
Where's OBV? Is it gone?
I gotta pull it. There it is. Well, it's on daily, and then you tell me about the weekly. There we go. So we're getting closer here. We're getting
So,
there. Well, I guess
right
what
there.
we're looking at. But we're
Don't move it so much. Give me Tourette's. From here, okay, so your higher lows.
Okay, we do have a higher OBV.
Higher lows, right. So that's
Yeah.
a bullish divergence.
So what you're arguing now is
That's
that
just
this has
one
been
bullish sign.
That could be a sign of what? Accumulation.
yes,
Every time Bitcoin hits around the 6K area,
Here's what I'm
buying
saying.
is holding.
Here's what I'm saying. Given that we have that bullish divergence in OBV, if we do another month like that and we get those Bollingers even tighter, you see what I'm saying? I'm saying that in my mind favors the bulls because there's even more psychological bottom. There's even more price history bottom support in that area. And, maybe other oscillators are showing some divergence as well at that point. So I just think that would be to be even healthier.
I want to bring up our daily RSI here, and then we can go to the weekly.
Yeah.
Again, I like my little triangle lines of resistance and support. We keep hitting here upper resistance line. I talk about 50 on the daily chart as being an area that you really want to hold. And again, we're just right there. Like, they did not make this easy for you. Okay, so higher lows, okay, lower highs, okay, but this is the sequence that we're basically watching here. That if 50 can be maintained on RSI, remember RSI relative strength index.
I mean, is it 50, exactly 50, or is it like, because usually you want to give a little of a buffer, right? So it'd be like, 52 to 48, right?
Well,
is
here's
it 50
why I bring
exactly,
50 up.
or is it a zone, right?
Here's why I bring the 50 up, and I'm kind of using past history. And you're right. I'll use a range. Okay, so
Yeah.
even from 50 to even 54, we see historically that this is a range here that stalls out runs. Or if you can break through this range and get up to the 60s, then you're showing a much more bullish strength in the market.
Yeah.
And if I go even wider here and note our last top off here and here, and
Is that
where
the
we
vodka
are
you're
here,
drinking, or is that the...
top off? It's top off. Wine tonight for me, actually, sir. But we're watching here that this can break either way because we have a case that can put us to a higher low with an RSI with still a bullish break, which would put our RSI, somewhere up in this area here.
Just before you move on, I mean, doesn't this just illustrate we're in a tight consolidation pattern? And with your triangle right there or whatnot,
Yes.
I mean, it just shows, you can see this is churn, right? This is what a representation of a churn looks like on the RSI. I mean, it's very clear. It's consolidation. What's going on? It's consolidating. What's Bitcoin doing? It's consolidating.
From what, though? It's been
consolidating
from the whole year of 2018.
You have to go. Here's how a bottom forms. There's 3 steps to a bottom. There's the downtrend, then you have to start going sideways, and then you start going up again.
All those squats are already helpful for a good bottom.
Yes. I've read about that, but I've got no experience.
It's true.
Naturally sculpted as I am.
So, all right. So listen, we have this resistance line here, okay? We have this support line here. This is where we're going here. A bearish break on our daily RSI.
Right.
If we break bearish, we break through our supports.
Right, so that'll be a clear signal. So drawing a line like that allows you to maybe draw a signal, right? So that's a nice method.
A signal where you'd have a move outside of this standard deviation where we've been
Or you
so
compare
tight
it to
here.
another signal. You want to have a confluence of signals, multiple bullish, multiple bearish signals.
Let's look at our Stoke here. This is our daily Stoke.
Yep.
Now, I was watching to see if we could really bust bullishly for a second double tap here of our 100 area. I drew a line here, kind of an arcing line here. This was kind of the best bullish case scenario. I guess I got to pull this way out here now because we're just breaking through that. Now, remember, the Stoke is in relation to the RSI as well. And it allows us to kind of, yes, Twitter, I know. It allows us to basically have 2 indicators that kind of dance with each other to also look at the RSI in a different perspective. That's why I like using the Stoke along with my RSI. Currently, we're angled bearishly on our RSI. Now, yesterday, right, we actually had a very nice bullish uptick where both of our indicators were angled upward, and it looked like it was ready to go. But we've angled both of us bearishly now, and because of our money flow, which we didn't have buck kiss really today. MACD busted through this triangle here, but it doesn't really mean much right now, does it? Because look at our histogram is falling down here. We're losing momentum on our daily MACD histogram. What do you see here, Chets?
I mean, based on this, what you've drawn, you've got 2 contact points on the top line, okay? You have at least 2 or 3 in the bottom, depending, I can call this 1 contact point right there. Okay, 1, 2, and so based on what you've drawn, it looks like a bull break.
Of a equilibrium pattern.
of just a pattern of just what of these lines you've drawn.
Right. That's true.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And
Simple as can be.
simply put.
Right.
So you're just looking for momentum and direction. It's kind of conceptually is how you kind of want to be looking at it.
And listen, the MACD uses two indicators. The blue one is the leading indicator. I'm just using the blue one as an example here, but if I go to even a tighter, more conservative pattern to keep the trailing indicator as my kind of basis point, we broke out of that several days ago.
Absolutely.
But our histogram is losing momentum. We've actually
it's tight though. It's very tight. It's within the margin of error, kind of either way.
We've been positive for a while, and you do see there's correlations between if we're up for a while this much, we're down for a while this much.
But look, if you add these three histograms together, it almost equals that big one. So it's kind of like
this is kind of similar to this, and then this one's kind of similar to this, but this one's a similar time to all the rest of the ones.
A little different though, isn't this? This is fighting for it. You can see it's fighting, try to pull back, fighting. The rest of these are up, down, right? So that's kind of interesting.
The date range is interesting to me too. Okay, so we're on 13 bars on this one here.
Yep.
Again, this is our daily. This one lasted about 13, 14 bars right here. Okay, and then this one here, about 15 bars. Okay, if you guys see a little trend here, right?
Yep.
Now the last biggest one was about 20 bars there. So we're seeing an interesting correlation here on our daily histogram, where when we're doing a trend, we tend to do it for about a couple weeks. All right, sometimes a little longer, maybe 3 weeks. But the past 3 have been basically 2 weeks before we switch a momentum. Bullish, bearish, slightly bullish, and we're running out of time here. If this trend pattern is going to hold. Last thing I want to bring up here on our daily is my talk of money flow. Chance, I kind of noticed an interesting pattern here. I noticed kind of interesting arc here. These 3 areas here are areas where we're outside of the standard arc here. We basically break really bearish and are chalking.
Yep.
This was our Bitcoin 20K, in for the history books. This is December.
Yep.
This is our pre-April bounce when our March lows happened.
Yep.
And we've basically been ranging in this kind of descending arc. But most recently, this is where I want to bring this up.
Yeah.
This is this year. This is 2018. Kind of right here. Oh, this was basically 2017. I apologize. This was back before. This was this was back then. This right here actually was our 2018
20K pump,
20K pump here.
Yeah.
Whenever we get in this box here, okay, and you've talked about being over the 0.2 area in that that zone of the chalking, where above the 0.2 or below the 0.2.
Yeah, exactly.
Based
buffer
on your
zone.
zero line, or the buffer zone.
Yeah.
Every time we get in this box here, and here, these have been where our bullish runs have had kind of teetered out, kind of gone to die.
Yeah.
And once again,
last few times.
But
I can't see the price, so it's hard for me to know. I mean, I can take your word for it.
Well, that's the thing.
Our styles are different.
Right. But I know that. Okay, back in May, this was our end of May dumps.
Right. Like, I hate looking at oscillators without like the price to compare it to.
50 million charts here too.
Yeah, that's what's beautiful about the different style.
It is. All right, so listen, we've done a lot of Bitcoin here.
Whoa.
I want to take a quick look just at some current price action.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at the longs and shorts and see if we can see anything going crazy. We'll do a shout out to the chat room, and then we'll probably call it a good show. So listen, this is Bitfinex here. Tight price action. I'm on the 15-minute here. Looking at our bollies here. Again, I don't like to use the bollies on such a low time frame, so I'm kind of drown that out. What we're looking at here is what kind of volume we have. Look at these volume bars here. Look at these candle wicks here, okay? Little volume, okay, bigger volume, longer wick, okay? So every time we keep breaking bearish here, right? We're getting bought up, okay? This is algos. This is not organic, okay? This is not organic. Okay, no one's keeping this tight range here of buys and sells. No one, these are tight scalps here, but there's so little people that are actually doing this in the entire spectrum of people that are trading Bitcoin. This is like 98%. I'm telling you, computer generated buys and sells right now. Okay, because of this price action here. There's nothing organic about this right here. Okay. And because of that, this is such a very tight area of trading. It's a very hard area to kind of trade, but we've seen areas when we have a very stable, slightly bullish Bitcoin. A lot of money can be made on certain alt pumps, each is individual. And there's a lot of questions about how much room those have to go as well. All right, so let's bring up our longs and shorts. Okay, I'm going to do a comparison. Just real quick here, it's going to go to Bitcoin shorts. Okay, rising a little bit again. Bitcoin longs. Clean it up here. Oh, let's go to the 6-hour chart. I don't like to get too tight in our charts here of our longs and shorts because it's a little choppy. But what do we see consistently? This is our shorts over here. Oh, I know I have artwork here, right? This is our shorts, okay? You see where our all-time high zone needs to be, okay? Remember, neither our shorts, okay, or our longs right now um, are overbought. Um, Neither one. I don't see this one as higher as it should be in terms of being overextended or being too cocky, if you will. And I don't see the shorts as being overextended, over leveraged is the word we're looking for, just yet. And because of that, we're not going to find any added fuel, I think, to a lot of the price action here. No one's willing to take a major position one way or the other now in the market. And that's very telling here. Okay, that's very telling. Okay, no one's taking a large position hedged right now either way.
Other than me or you, who are
Other than us,
massive whales.
we are massively whaling on one way of this chart here. But and that's interesting because even the whales themselves, even the big players, are like, because there's whichever way Bitcoin breaks, there's going to be a lot of money to be made, and because you can short the market, it can break bearish, and there's still a lot of money that can be made. So don't think a bear break is actually a losing proposition.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we did the longs and shorts. We did a nice little talk about Bitcoin. I want to look at just 2 or 3 more things here, Chads, and we'll wrap it up. We both had a very long day here. And once again, Chad is my good buddy from many years back. And I appreciate him hanging out with us tonight talking Bitcoin. I just want to go to the 3-hour chart here on Bitcoin Futures CME, just because it was pointed out to me that there is a gap in the 3-hour chart. And, normally I don't like to go lower than the 4-hour, but I'll give deference to the 3-hour as well. And the reason I bring up the gaps on this particular chart is historically every gap has been filled in this chart. Right now there is still a gap at 63.91. Now remember, this chart does not go tick by tick to the price of Bitcoin, but every gap along the way has been filled. Here's a gap right here. Okay, it happened September 20th. It took till it's 5 days later when this candle filled the gap in the price action. That comes because that happens when there's a big move in price quickly, or there's a gap in price terms of when this actually closes. So one of those few assets, Bitcoin, that actually does close, which Bitcoin is basically 24 hours, as we know. So one last look here at Bitcoin, guys, and I'm kind of signing off. Thank you so much for, 130 of my closest friends here in the chat room. Okay, hey, real quick shout out here, guys. I appreciate the thumbs up as well. Love those thumbs up and all those likes and follows on Bitcoin, on my YouTube page and on Twitter. Quick shout out here to Dustin, B7 Oaks, Shadow One, Myra, Patrick O'Brien, RJ Jamal, Hugo, Sculpture Smith, Crypto Burke, Dan the Man. What's up, RR? Hello, Jane. Ryan C, Sculpture Smith, M Wint 1982, Mohammed Cannon, Crypto Burke, Brad M Loot, Oscar, what's up, my brother? Crypto Data. Let's see here, Kirby Burke, Franco, APK. Let's see here, who else we got here? Self Setter, Ryan, and Appstar, Crypto Bud Fox. Hey, Crypto Bug Fox.
Dude, I'm gonna start making names just to hear you try to pronounce them.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, that's half the fun. If people come on and do these shows, like we get to like butcher their names. This is the way it goes.
Do the best we can, guys, because we appreciate everybody. Yeah. Chads?
Yep, thanks. Thanks for having me on your show, Big Jonas. I love your work. Find him. If my people who are following you and watching right now, he's on Twitter. at Big Chonas on YouTube at Chonas Trading.
This is my buddy Cheds. You can find him on Twitter at Big Cheds. He also has a YouTube channel. You guys can find me on Twitter. I am at Big Chonas. Thank you so much for watching this evening. Okay, I'll be on the Twitterverses talking to you guys soon, keeping you guys posted on, what I'm seeing and everything. And remember, as we said in the show here, this is a very tight price action here, and listen, you don't need to force it. You're not going to miss the big one. I guarantee it, okay? Just be safe out there. Be smart. This is Big Chonas, okay? Slowly signing off. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.